Hello, everyone. Welcome to PMC New York. Today, we are going to have a session on Ramtha's wisdom. This is session 3. And let's welcome our beloved master, Ajay Babu from Hyderabad. Welcome, Master.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for a great time. So I think from last two sessions we have discussed how exactly the focus can create the reality. So as part of that, we have seen 7 level of consciousness within us. So nothing but our 7 bodies. So today I would like to explain. We have in science the greatest what you call experiment called double split experiment. So which was done by Thomas Young in 1920s. So that was the revolutionized experiment in our, we call it, and in science the science become the quantum science, right? So we have, generally we call it as a Newtonian science and quantum science. So that experiments gave a lot of perception about energy. So I think Einstein used to say energy is equal to E is equal to mc square, where he used to inference energy can convert into mass or mass can convert into energy. That was theoretically he explained, but when Thomas Young came with that double split experiment, he concluded that in given point of time, so the energy can become matter, or it can be in energy form. So let me share my screen. I can show you the video where how. Ma'am, could you please give me that? Oh my gosh, shame. I think you are mute.
Yes,
Yeah,
you can share, Ajay.
thank you. So I will show you video. Just see that. I then explain what exactly that. Maybe some of you might know what double slit experiment it is. So that is a very fundamental thing in our creation. If you know that, if you can understand that, you can easily understand how focus can create reality, how energy can create reality. Focus is nothing but energy, or coagulated energy. That is called thought. We'll see that.
So just imagine that you have a gun that's firing bullets or pellets at a screen that has 2 slits, 2 openings. Those are double slits. And your intuition tells you that those pellets that get through the left opening will land in a band aligned with it on the left, and those that get through the right will land in a band aligned with it on the right.
That makes sense.
And that's what happens.
With bullets.
Good, with bullets.
Okay.
Let's now run that experiment with one change. We're simply going to dial down the size of the bullets, making them smaller, as small as little particles like electrons. When you fire the electrons at the barrier with the 2 slits, you don't just get 2 bands, you get more bands. And that simple change, going from our expectation of 2 bands to, in this case, 5 bands, that represents the single greatest upheaval in our understanding of reality that the species has ever encountered. So just imagine that you have a gun that's firing bullets or...
I'll show you one more video, we'll get more clarity. Yeah, see this way.
When a laser emits beams of light particles called photons at a screen with 2 slits, you'd expect to see 2 strips to correspond with the 2 slits. Instead, we see a pattern of light and dark bands. This suggests that light behaves like waves that pass through both slits simultaneously, interfering with each other to create the pattern on the second screen. However, when scientists used a measuring device to observe the slit that each photon passed through, the interference pattern disappeared and 2 strips appeared. The act of observing which slit it went through changed the behavior of the photons. No one knows why observing a particle causes its behavior to change.
So the summary of this is, when you observe the photons or light particles which is passing through the double split, so the result is changing, right? That observer is affecting the quantum field. The quantum field nothing but smallest energy particles, which are electrons or photons. You can call it as a quarks, or you can call it as a substrings. So those were, when you pass through the little slit of 2 slits, we're supposed to get 2 bands, right? If you think energy as a if you think electron as a particle. So, but it's not behaving like a particle when you're not keeping any particular device over there for observing that. So it is you can see it as a multiple bands, right? Multiple bands. But when observer at that particular split position, it is getting as a two bands only. That means observer is affecting the quantum field. That observer is affecting the particular field which is passing through the split. So that means if given point of time, energy is randomly around us. The quantum particles like electrons and photons, you can call it as a ultraviolet frequency, X-ray frequency, or gamma frequency around us. It is at randomness. That randomness we have, right? So there is no probability, right? So there's n number of possibilities, you can call it as it. So there's a randomness around you. When you focus on a particular pattern, when you focus on particular intent, when you focus on with particular desire, that focus will collapse that energy particles and shape that in form. I repeat again. So when you observe, when you have focus on our forehead, that particular observation with intent, that intent will collapse quantum field around you and form that particular shape. So I'll show you how exactly it is. So we have 7 seals, right? Or you can call it as a 7 bodies, our 7 level of consciousness. This Hertzian frequency, you can call it as a 8 Hz. 8 Hz. That means per second, it is oscillating 8 times. Per second, in particular point of time, it is going 8 times. You can call it as that is an 8 Hz frequency. So if we go beyond that, we have it. We call it as a quantum field where it has electrons. Visible light, you can call it as a photons. You can call it as ultraviolet blue frequency, X-ray frequency, gamma frequency, or infinite unknown. We cannot measure that. That's why we kept it as a name, infinite unknown. That is called God. You can call it anything. So that infinite infrared, you can call it as a electron, photon, something like that. So these are the quantum particles. Quantum is little energy packets. So when you come to double slit experiment, for example, if you take the source of light which emits light, light is nothing but photons, right? Photon is an energy particle which carries energy. Smallest energy particles we carry as a photon. So you see light in our home, right? That emits light. The light has a photons. When you keep the light before the slit, they have 2 slits, that is a double slit. So it's supposed to get the interference of waves, right? So when you get the interference wave, you're supposed to get like this. This is the actual result. But when I see with particular intent, when I observing that particular photons, when I observing that what happens to the result, exactly it happens like this. Because my intention is that the light is a particle and I supposed to get 2 bands instead of this multiple bands. When I have that intent, when observing with that intent, I'm getting 2 bands. That means this particular wave function become the particle. That means energy has dual nature. Energy has dual nature, that is can emit as a energy wave function, and it can emit as a particle, right? That's the dual nature of energy. That's why Einstein came up with that equation called E is equal to mc square. Matter can convert into energy, energy can convert into matter. So let's see example. For example, you have a ice cube. It is in solid form. When you heat that, you can convert that into vapor, which you cannot see after some time. It will become pure energy form. After some point, it will again become a solid form, right? So similarly, so energy can convert into matter, matter can convert to energy. So that's a fundamental thing we have in science discovery. So that's called quantum science, right? So then we tend to understand what is the quantum nature of energy. So similarly, in our physical body, we might see that is a physical body. It is made with quantum particles. That's how you have randomness you have, right? So let's see. I said last week, so when you focus here, you're taking conscious energy, the frozen movement of conscious energy, you call it as a thought. When you take a thought and focus over here, it is converting that as thought as a light. That a light is converting because of neurons, it is converting that into electromagnetic energy, nothing but picture, image. right? So the thought become image, that is the understanding language of brain. Eventually that image becomes your chemical. For example, you go to ice cream shop. When you see the ice cream shop, eyes will catch that image. Immediately that neurons will fire and it create that image. That's why you will be able to see that. So your eyes is not seeing. Your eyes is taking that in that what you call that image you're taking, that image is interpreted by your brain, right? So that image convert into chemical using your neurons, right? So that chemical release eternal rush, say, or some beautiful hormones, or what you call you can call it as a dopamine, something like that. So you tend to eat that ice cream. You want to eat that ice cream because the thought become chemical and you get saliva. You want to eat that particular thing, right? So we see how that image collapsing the quantum field around you, so that you can understand you are creating your reality by just focusing over here or just thinking the thought. So let me show you the video where
and I might have to tap it a little bit to get the iron filings to
let me explain. So right now you have here iron dust particles, which are randomness, small tiny particles, which are randomness. There is a copper wire coiled in circular shape, right? So when I pass, right now it is the current is not passing through this particular coil. So when I start that power to pass through this particular coil, so the magnetism, because of if current is passed through particular copper wire, it tend to exhibit that magnetic nature, right? Because of the magnetic nature, the particle around that coil, we can call it as iron dust, it tend to shape in the form of the coil. Let's see how it is.
rotate.
You see that? So the iron dust particle tend to shape when I start a current pass through that. So it shapes like exactly the form of that circular coil. What does that mean is when you take the thought and focus over here in the particular shape, that shape collapse the energy particles around you, the quantum particles around you in that particular shape. The reality first happens in our body and second reality happens in the physical reality. The reality first happens in our mind, the second reality happens in outside of the body. So how many of you understand? Do you have any questions on that? Because the quantum particles are random in nature unless you don't specify the intent, it is random in nature. When you specify, when you are in particular intent on that particular focus, so that intent will define how exactly the quantum particle should behave. The particular intent will make you the shape of that quantum particles. Let's see another example. For example, instead of coil shape, I let it in spiral shape. See how exactly quantum particles.
Length. Later, the plastic sheet rotated to align along the coil here on the left end. So you can see how coil, the iron filings have all rotated the iron filings, and they will rotate and align along this magnetic field. So now I'm going to apply a current, and I'm going to tap to help the filings align along the magnetic field. Inside the coil, they quickly spread out.
So similarly, before example, so when you make the copper wire into the spiral form, so spiral coil form, so when you pass the current again, so that iron fillings or iron dust tend to behave in the form of, because of the magnetism of that coil, it tend to behave or tend to form in the form of the spiral form, right? So that telling that, similarly, when you focus over here, because of your aura or because of you have that quantum field around you, you are collapsing that quantum field and converting that into whatever the shape you want. Okay, that's the beauty of focus. So how many ways you can focus and how many ways you can collapse is based on what type of, so what level of emotion you have. For example, I want to eat ice cream. I want to eat ice cream, right? When I say I want to eat ice cream, when I focus that I am eating ice cream, just when I close for eyes for 2 or 5 seconds to 10 seconds, when I recollecting my past memories saying that I am eating ice cream, or when I just visualizing that I am eating my ice cream, something like that. So at what intent you are focusing, it will collapse that particular level of energy field. For example, you're just observing that and feeling that emotion, that you will collapse. It might collapse over the energy particles in this level. It's electrons. It can collapse photons. It can collapse ultraviolet blue frequency. And what level you have that particular emotion, it collapse that particular field. So what is the difference between these six is, when you have particular intent with higher level of emotion, higher level of feeling, the result will take less time. So you have your observer, father is here, you are here. So there is a distance between two, is a long distance, right? So there's a bigger distance. So when you close to your father, there is less distance, right? So it takes very less time. So similarly, when your intention is more, where your emotion is high, your feeling is more, so it takes less time. So then immediately it will manifest. So that means within fraction of time, maybe in few hours or within the day, you tend to go to ice cream shop or eat that, or your friend will bring that ice cream, or your home or your friends or in-laws or family members will bring that particular ice cream to you, right? Just do that experiment. So just go today after the class, just close your eyes, whatever the what you call food you want to eat, just close your eyes and feel that already you are eating that, right? So see that what will happen, right? So just do the experiment 2 to 3 days and see that. So what exactly happens, how it happens. Okay, so if you go to fifth level of consciousness and sixth level of consciousness, you no need to any persons to involve, events to involve, or place to involve. Directly you can collapse energy and make it that into particle, like Shirdi Sai and Satya Sai does. He create that vibhuti directly from quantum field, right? They don't take it from a secondary person. So it with directly by collapsing the energy, they are manifesting that particular vibhuti or the linga, something like that. So that's a way of collapsing fifth level of consciousness, sixth level of consciousness, because it is in pure form. It cannot bend within the time and space matrix, right? So that's the power of that X-ray frequency, gamma frequency. So that's why you can able to see your body parts using X-ray, right? That's the beauty. It can penetrate through your body. So let's see how neurons will fire that produce particular image. Yeah. So here, observer effect on nervous cell. So the observer is responsible for collapsing the wave function of probability into particle reality. So as I said earlier, the quantum field is in randomness. Because of randomness, he has n number of probabilities, right? So because of n number of probabilities, so you can create reality whatever you want, right? That's the beauty of that. So the act of observation makes the nervous cells fire and produce the thought. Yes, we'll see that. So this is a picture of neurons. Neurons is a tiny particles or tiny cells, you can call it as in brain. It has this is the shape of the neuron. This is called center of the neuron, and you can call it as a soma. Around that, within the soma, you have nucleus that contains DNA. Around this nucleus, you can call it as a soma. Generally, soma Sanskrit means moon, right? That's why the moon will affect us, this soma. So some ancient people used to say your moon affects the mood of the person, that is mood affect the mind of the person, right? That's the mind around the particular nuclei. This is called soma. The moon will affect us, right? Similarly. So that's how the name soma. So this is you can call it as you can call it as the end part, you can call it as dendrites, right? These things are dendrites, right? These are the dendrites. So this is the axon firing, and it connects to another neurons. So when I say yellow, for example, when you say visualize the yellow, when you are able to see the yellow picture here, that means you just hear my voice and just create that image over here because of firing 10,000 neurons in our brain that produce yellow color here. In order to produce yellow color in our brain, it used to fire 10,000 neurons, right? By firing those neurons, it will create some chemicals that produce that particular image or here. So that's why Ramtha says thought is nothing but it's the electrical, neurological, chemical pattern called thought. We are taking that conscious energy and firing in a particular form to produce that image. That image is the language of brain. That image, the brain will convert, this yellow brain will send it to midbrain. You can call it as a limbic brain. That limbic brain will convert that particular image into chemicals and send through central nervous system to throughout your body, right? So that image will send out throughout your body, and your body cells will understand that language of chemical, because the language of the physical body is chemical, the language of brain is the image. The image converted into chemical, the chemical will send over to your body will understand what exactly that particular organ does, should do, right? So that's how brain will communicate with body. Similarly, the body sends back signals to brain that chemical will again understand by brain through images, right? So that's how it functions. So when this axon fires will happen, one neurons will happen, particular neuron firing. For example, when I say yellow, the firing will be different. When I say red, the particular firing will be different. When I say cow, the firing should happen differently. So that's how there are a number of different ways that firing should happen. So the firing between one neuron and second neuron, there is a gap between this one neuron and neuron. This maybe you cannot see in physical eyes. Maybe there's a quantum field or void exists between these two dendrites. You can call it as a quantum field. This firing can occur in 7 different layers. Okay, based on how exactly you are seeing that particular thought, how exactly you're thinking the particular thought, based on your thinking, based on your understanding about that particular thought, it can fire into 7 different levels. For example, let's say example of ice cream. When I say I want to eat ice cream, I can think different ways. For example, I can think in that way, saying that maybe I get cold if I eat ice cream. That is one way of thinking. You can think maybe I should not tell my parents that I am eating ice cream. You can say that I want to eat ice cream with my girlfriend, something like that. You can say I want to eat ice cream without seeing others. I want to eat ice cream with my friends. I want to share my ice cream with my family members. So you can think that particular thought in different ways, based on how exactly your consciousness is there, how exactly in that particular time your emotion is there, right? So in given day, your energy level shifts in different levels. Generally, in right now, most of the humans are operating 1, 2, and 3 levels of consciousness, right? They're not going beyond that. Maybe in particular time, in sometimes maybe they'll go to ultraviolet and X-ray in rare time, right? But if you do meditation, generally you'll go to 4, 5, 6, 7 easily, right? So here the particle are, you can call it as electrons, already it is in pattern form. The photons also, some DNA, you have a pattern structure because your parents tend to behave something like that. You also behave something like that. When you go beyond that, you can collapse the particular particles which are in random, more randomness, and you can create unlimited possibilities. Okay, so my agenda here is to explain when you focus the thought here with some intent, some feeling, some with some emotion, that intent, that emotion will make the shape of that reality, because the quantum field around you doesn't.
I think there is some distraction.
Yes, I don't know what it is, but yes, there is some disturbance. Uh, oh, he logged out?
Right.
Could be some power issue, maybe he might log in.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Okay, he's back.
Okay. Until he comes, let's discuss
yeah,
what we actually listened until now. What
I
a
am back, ma'am.
beautiful.
I think he's
I
back.
am
Oh, you're back. All right.
back, but cover I connect to through mobile data. So I'm audible.
Yes,
Yes.
you are audible.
Thank you, thank you. So yeah, just go ahead and ask your question. So that's what I want to share today. So what are the intent, or what are the image you are focusing over here? So by consciously or subconsciously or programmingly or habitually, you are tend to think any thought given day. So that particular thought repeating, what you call, you're repeating continuously for several days. That's how reality not changing, because you are repeating same habits, sorry, repeating same thoughts every day. That's a habit, right? So we want to have consciously aware of that and tend to change. For example, when particular sounds comes from your what you call, from kitchen, so you tend to feel irritated, you tend to feel angry, right? So that is a conscious effort we should make in order to change that, because that's a pattern. You maybe you get it from your forefather. Your DNA can remember 10,000 years back, 50,000 years back, 10 million years back, the first origin of human feelings has in our DNA, right? So your DNA can remember your forefather feelings also, right? That can influence you, right? So you should understand that DNA nothing but it's a light body. That is the third way of consciousness. There is a light. DNA nothing but light. So that has information. Every light has information, right? So like DNA has information. Maybe your forefather doesn't like lady's finger. You tend to feel same thing, unless until you master it, right? So that's a habitual nature we have, because we took the body in the form of human, right? So those are chemicals, right? What is angry? Angry is nothing but chemical. What is happy? What is joy? Nothing but chemical. Everything is a chemical. The chemical in seven level of consciousness. Seven different chemicals we have, right? So understand, in the body of language is nothing but chemicals. So that was released by the way you think. The way you think defines by what type of perception you have about particular thought, particular entity, right? So that's how knowledge is important in order to change the perception. When you change the perception, the moment you change the perception, you're rewriting the chemistry of your body. That's how Bruce Lipton quote. That is the epigenetics is saying. So we see tomorrow, or coming classes, we see the how epigenetics or environment is affecting your DNA, how you can change your DNA by just focusing on forehead. And before that, I'll tell you what exactly brain, how many different parts of brain you have, how that brain is firing and producing image, what different glands you have, what is the purpose of those, Maybe if you understand brain more, so you can understand your nature of reality easily. So I think everyone needs to understand, and everyone needs to go and research about how exactly your body is functioning. No one knows how exactly your body is functioning. So only doctors thinks that they knows, but they don't know, because the energy and consciousness collapsing the reality. The perception is changing the reality. Is not DNA here is influencing you. Your influence, you can also influence in DNA by constant focusing, by repeated focusing. That's what epigenetics is saying. That's how Dr. Bruce H. Lipton is saying. You can change your DNA by change your perception, right? So generally we know about Java programming, we know about C programming, we know about spaceship, we know about Instagram, we know about YouTube, we know about all the things, but we don't know much about our body, because it is a complex system. It is the greatest system you have. It's the greatest discovery in the entire planet, because through your body you can have some level of consciousness. You can experience some level of consciousness. You can experience the God within the same time. You can experience the human emotions. That's the beauty of your body. That's especially beauty of your brain. It can tune into some level of frequency. See how important your organ is. How much you should take the care of that particular organ, right? So thank you so much. So coming classes, I explain more about brain.
Thank you, Ajay. Very beautifully explained. All these days we have been telling that you create your own reality, you can create your own reality, but the science behind it was understood today. To some extent, we understood the double slit experiment in previous classes also by Ramu Master, but today actually brought a very clear picture about the science behind it. Thank you so much. It's very, very interesting. Um, when a few things that I manifested, I never understood the science behind it, but now I understood uh,
Yeah,
what happened actually.
yeah,
So, for all these things to happen, meditation is the base. Why
exactly.
meditation? Because in meditation, your consciousness goes into higher levels, not in
Yeah,
first, second, third level.
yeah,
The higher levels you achieve, the the more you are in higher levels, the quicker you can manifest
yeah.
everything, that whatever you want. And thank you, Ajay. To summarize, we will summarize in our free time, like, next class or so.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
anyone has any questions,
I,
please.
I want to add one more point. I'll conclude that. So even though you know manifestation, even though you doesn't know manifestation, you creating your reality,
Mm.
that is fundamental, right? Even though you don't know or you know it, you are creating your reality. But you are creating your reality such a way that you are creating your sorrow, you are creating your grief, you are creating lackness. Because that's a habit, that's a pattern, that's a karmic pattern you are carrying. So we need to master that. When you can master that, by knowing that it is there. So you should, some people doesn't know it is there also, right? First of all, we should know it is there, particular karmic pattern. How we know? By conscious awareness, right?
So
Through
true.
awareness, you get to know. Where does awareness comes? Through meditation, to practice mindfulness. That awareness comes through awareness to break the patterns. By breaking the patterns, you can change your reality. That's simple.
So true. And take an example of Osho Rajneesh, how much he actually created. And Patriji, how many pyramids? Did he earn all that money? Did he spend his own money? No, right? Without spending or without earning money, he actually created the entire PSSM movement, and lots of pyramids and lots of masters and organizations. That's through his visualization. So yeah, let's open the platform for everyone. If you have any questions, please unmute yourself and raise your hand so that I can let you in.
Sorry, I don't know where to raise the hand. Can you hear me?
Okay, Ajay Babu.
You can
Thank you so
unmute if you
much.
do not know how to raise your hand. Please
Yeah, I'm
speak.
trying to speak. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So thank you so much for explaining that science behind it. I really liked the way he explained. I had a question. So first, you basically what I understand, and maybe I'm not understanding it properly, or you can explain more, is by meditation, you're trying to get into those higher levels. So that would be the first step. And then once you get into the higher levels, then you are able to manifest your thoughts or your ideas. But how do you gauge at what level you are at? This is my question. How do you know what level, energy level you are at the current time? And how do you try to get to the higher levels? Like what,
Yes,
what
yes.
would be the process?
There are n number of process, but best way is meditation. One thing, because you are transcending your physical limitation. You are thinking that I am the body. I told you, not only body, you have spirit inside you. That's sixth level of consciousness inside you. To
Mm,
in order to experience that, first of all, you should leave this thing, right? Right? You
mhm,
should forget about that. Then only you can shift to second level of consciousness. Then actually, yeah, every day you're in a sleep, it is happening, but you are not consciously aware of that. In your
mhm.
sleep, you are forgetting about your body, forgetting your identity. You are nowhere in your sleep.
Right.
You're not thinking your identity when you sleep. In a particular, we have three states. One is Jagruta Avastha, it is a conscious awakening state, and dreaming state. In Swapnavastha, you are not thinking about your identity, but you have some desires, maybe your past life, something, it will go around. And in Shushuptavastha, in deep state, you are nowhere. You are nothing,
Mhm,
thinking of nothing. You are pure in that pure consciousness state, pure realm state. Your experience of nothing, that nothing, no, nothing but void, no thing. You're
mhm.
experiencing void every day in your sleep, but you're not consciously experience that, right? So
Right.
you say, I got good sleep, I got more energy, I'm more fresh. That means you are connected to void, you're connected to source, pure consciousness, right? That's how you got energy. Similarly, when you observe the joy of this child, when you observe the beauty of the nature, you tend to forget yourself. You're emerging that with the nature, right? You are oneness
Mhm,
with that. You are oneness with that particular child. For example, when you play with your child, you're forgetting your identity, saying that I am the big person, maybe I'm the elder person. You are behaving like the child because you are one with that particular child. That's how
right.
you're transcending your identity. Right now, you are in that particular fourth level, fifth level of consciousness, because every child starts with fourth and fifth. They don't have personality. They are not yet created. Maybe until 10 to 14 years, they try to create that personality, right? So they're a pure energy form, four, five, six seals. They operate form, right?
Mhm,
So that's how every day we do that. We're not really consciously aware of we are transcending the personality. When you so the movie, you're not seeing that a particular person. You're forgetting your identity. You are watching like like another person. You are connecting to the particular hero. You're
mhm.
connecting to particular moment, right? In that moment, you are no longer have identity. You are transcending the identity.
Got it.
But in
Okay.
meditation, consciously doing that. That's the beauty. By
Right.
observing the breath, because I'll tell you secret here. So we have two things in our body. One is autonomic nervous system. Sorry, call it, you can call it as a autonomous and
So
what do
one
you
is
call it?
which is controllable and the other which is
Yeah.
uncontrolled.
What do you call synthetic, parasympathetic? You can call it as, yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So in parasympathetic, the breath, heartbeat, and your body temperature under control of parasympathetic, which is controlled by midbrain. All you can
Mhm,
call it as a central nervous system, right? So the breath is under control of central nervous system. It is midbrain. It is not a conscious brain, right? So
mhm,
when you observe the breath, which is under the control of central nervous system, you tend to shift your consciousness to midbrain. You tend to shift consciousness to a different level, right?
mhm.
So that's the beauty of observing the breath. So that's why some people observe heartbeat. Heartbeat also is under control of central nervous system. It is not in yellow brain, because if it is under yellow brain, you forget 1 minute, you will die. It is already programmed. It is automation, right?
Mhm,
It is
mhm.
automatic. It is automated program. It is not a manual running
Correct.
program. It's automated such a way that it is running every minute.
Mhm,
Right? That is a habit. That is a common thought, we call it. Ramtha says it's a common thought. That is a fundamental thing for subconscious mind. How subconscious mind understand? If you repeat that thing for 10 times using conscious mind, it will understand. It will remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the power of meditation. Just observe, don't alter it. When you alter it, you're using yellow brain, your conscious brain. Just observe it. When observing, you're shifting your conscious awareness from here to here.
Mhm.
May I know who is this, ma'am? Who is this asking?
Sorry, my name is Tejasvi.
Tejasvi. Okay, it says
Yeah.
iPhone, so
Yeah, I think I have to rename that.
no
Yeah.
problem at all. Yes. And from next class onwards, everyone, I request everyone to switch on their webcams. So prepare for that and switch on webcams. So it's easy to see the other person and the communication is better.
Okay, yes, sure. Yeah, I just usually when we meditate, I sit in a dark room
Yeah,
because
not
that helps me meditate. Yeah.
not an issue. And also you asked another question, what level of consciousness I am and how to know it. You
Right.
don't need to know which level you are at. Y- and things happen when you are at higher level, and that is what is usually known. Ajay, any answer for that? To know which level they are at, or is it important to know that?
Definitely. So we should know. So we should know our progress card. Then only we can
Exactly.
know where.
That's where I was.
Okay.
That's the reason I
Right,
wanted to
right.
know.
So if you know where you are, you can find the path to where you want to go. Right? If I
Mhm.
know I am in Hyderabad, then I can think where should I go, right?
Yeah.
So in meditation, for example, generally you have to see just observe the what type of thoughts you're getting. First, the exercise you do. So, for example, if you're doing meditation for 2 3 times, just one time do this thing. What type of thoughts you're getting in your meditation? Observe that.
Okay.
Then we can say what type of consciousness you are. Generally, people thinks about jobs, money, something like relationship issues. What are the issues you have? Generally, people get the thoughts in those aspects, right? So just write it down after the meditation. Just observe. Don't analyze it. Don't judge it. Just observe what are the thoughts you're getting. Just note it down, and we can discuss about what exactly level of consciousness you are. Generally, people have in one to three. Generally, for example, if you have some people have made sugar because they think more about future, or their misery in nature. They don't want to spend the energy, they want to spend the money, because similarly your cells will understand, your cells also doesn't spend glucose, they save the glucose in our blood, that's the sugar,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
that's
Okay.
how, yeah. So you can just observe. So be aware. I don't know what exactly you are, but be aware of that. You will know. Okay, I'm thinking in. For example, if you are in fear consciousness, that is a second level. If you want to control other people, that is a third level of consciousness. You are unconditional, that is a fourth level. You are able to express the unconditional nature, that is the fifth level. You are seeing the God in everyone, the sixth level. I am the God is the seventh level.
Wow,
Okay.
what a
Yeah.
beautiful
No.
explanation. I do
Totally.
not know this before. Thank you, Ajay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Ajay, I have a question.
Yes.
So you are explaining about the thoughts and
Yeah.
the neurons axon
Correct.
firing in
Correct.
7 levels.
Correct.
So what kind of thought is it? Any one or any specific thoughts only fires 7 levels?
Yes, very good question. Very good question. Yeah, I'll do one thing, sir. So, for example, I'm seeing this accident. For example, I'm seeing the accident. That is a particular thought. So, based on my perception, I see that incident. Right? Similarly, God also watching. For example, Shiva is also watching particular incidents. He see that particular incident in some different way because of karmic connection, something he is not only see particular incident, he see entire picture. For example, if you watch the movie, for example, if you come 20 minutes late to the movie, if you're watching particular incident, you don't know what exactly happened before, you get some conclusions,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
But God doesn't see, higher master doesn't see like that. They see entire that events occur. What is the events happen before that particular event also they watch. Then they will understand the real picture of that. So when you are seeing the when you're seeing the any thought, sorry, when you're observing the thought, but when you're seeing the any incident, we tend to think what are the knowledge we have, what are the perception we have. That's absolutely fine. But given the day, the only thing suggestion I should give, don't judge it, don't comment, don't interfere anything, because we have limited knowledge about that particular person. We don't know what exactly happened before that incident. So that's why Patri said don't judge, don't comments. So based on our perception only we do, but we have 7 levels. But Ramtha says there is no wrong in having particular perception. The thing is you should refine the perception. You should refine the truth. There is 7 level of truth. For example, if I see the accident, I say they don't have what you call awareness. That's why they did the accident. Maybe they should be aware something we should used to say, right? So that's our truth. You're absolutely right. But we should understand the truth in 7 levels. We should see the picture in higher, what you call helicopter view. So when you bring your awareness to the higher level, you see that level of perception. So absolutely, we can see one thought in 7 different ways. Any given thought you can see in 7 levels.
So you mean whatever thoughts we have, so we try to bring the higher level, then only we are going to have a perception about that thought.
Correct. Very good example I give, sir. For example, one person dies, we see in different way, right? Enlightened master sees different way because they know what exactly happened after that, after they wherever they're going, right? So same incident, we are doing different perceptions because based on the knowledge we have, based on the understanding we have, based on the level of consciousness we have. So that's how, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That way it will fight. What makes you fight? What is the knowledge you have? What is the perception you have? That makes to fire the particular level of firing.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. Thanks, Ajay.
The other question is, as you mentioned, once you bring the awareness much higher level, you can manifest. How that exactly happens? Because when you are sitting in meditation, the mind is clearing up. Then when you start doing some work, you think about that work and you're able to do it much efficiently. How this manifestation part happens?
Yeah, very good question. I'll tell that. In given day, we are not in right now moment. That is the present moment. Every day, generally, we think about future, we think about past, think about future, think about past. Hardly we are one with that work. For example, you are taking the coffee, right? While you are taking the coffee, people tend to think what exactly happened in your television. By watching the television, they tend to take they are drinking the coffee, right? Generally, don't drink the coffee with present moment or where they're not in that particular moment. So always thinking about future or thinking about past. Every work you do, you're not right now in that particular moment. That's a practice you should do. And that's a in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, excellence in work, that is a yoga. Yoga means what are the work you are doing, that work should become you. You are one with that work. For example, you're watching the movie. You are one with the movie. You're not separated, right? You are in that moment. Childhood you used to have. For example, you are playing with one particular games. You are in that moment. You are not thinking about future. You are not thinking about past. You are in that moment, right? So when you are in that moment, work is done. In order to have that practice of mindfulness or in practice of now state, we are doing this anapanasati because breath is always in now moment. It is not in future, it is not in past. When observe the breath, we have habit to in that now state. In now state, there are randomness, 100 probabilities. For example, my hand is like this, I tend to go in this way. For example, my hand is right now in that straight. I can go this way. I can go this way. When my hand is in only tend to have my hand is in already in right direction. I might go right direction, right? So it's difficult to come back again. But when my hand is in this particular direction, straight direction, now state, I can go this way. I can go this way. I can go this way. So the power of now we should practice. That's a mindfulness. Whatever you do, your 100% mind or should be there.
Okay. So basically, multitasking is not something that you would advise.
What is that?
Multitasking, so sometimes
No, not at all. Exception case is fine, but given the chance, we should do our work 100%. That's how you understand. You enjoy the map. For example, I'll tell that. So while cricket, any sportsman playing the sport, he should be present 100% over there, right? Then you can give maximum performance.
Okay.
What is the difference between Kohli and other players? Kohli has extremely focus. Not only in the game, after the game also, he has that particular nature of focusing over the game only. In net practice, he thinks about that only. He doesn't think about anything. Take any great athletic, great sports person, he has extreme focus over there. For example, take any successful person, they have extreme focus over. That focus bring you in present moment. In that present moment, that happens naturally, it will happen. For example, if you're doing the task, writing the program in 10 hours, if you're extremely focused, you are in that moment, it will take 6 hours.
Okay, so like casual things at home, you're trying to cook, you're trying to wash, you're trying to do like multiple things. So because everything you wanted to be in present, right? Present moment. So it can be a small task, it doesn't matter. So it's brain to be in that present moment. So, but with the modern lifestyles that we have, we try to do things, multiple things in multiple directions. You're cooking one direction, you're doing a laundry, and you're something else. Is that advised when you are going in this path and trying to put this, mold yourself to dedicate yourself 100% being in that present moment? How do you explain?
I'll tell you. So generally, what happens is, one day we break the. For example, for example, today we woke up lately. For example, 1 hour lately. Because of that rush, you tend to do multitasking, right? So because you don't have much time, you do multitasking things. So you do one thing. Just one day you wake up early, 1 hour early. Then you can prioritize the things so that you should not do the things simultaneously. So you can cook. Sorry, for example, you start there with cooking. After the cooking finishing, you can go for washing the clothes, something like that. So just do that for 20 days. You see how much peaceful you have, how much what you call power of presence you can feel that, right? So while eating also, just focus on eating, how taste a particular bite is. So just practice on that, because you don't have time. That's why you do multitasking. Just wake up 1 hour early, so your things will be done. Just prioritize. Just write it down. What exactly priority I should follow? Just write it down. You'll be sorted out.
Okay.
So in a
Because
nutshell,
of time, because of no time, we are doing the other things simultaneously. If you have time, you don't do that.
so it is not advised to multitask. Focus on one thing at a time. It sounds very difficult, but it's not really, because as Ajay said, if you prioritize the events in order, in sequence, actually you gain more time, because you get used to doing things in an order, and you are in the present moment. So I used to also think that, because I used to listen to audios when I'm doing some things, like when I'm cooking or cleaning the house. I used to listen to video audios, or anything that I used to listen and do things. But once I learned this, I stopped. It gives a lot of difference, actually.
And one more thing, I'll just example I give. Generally, in 1 month back, so I do software work, right? So I do programming, something like that. So when I do programming, when I didn't complete my work within a day, when I go for sit for meditation, so next day also I'm thinking that work, maybe I should complete that work. I should complete that. Thought is pulling me back. Even though I'm doing meditation, my thought is there in my work. If you can complete the work within a day, if possible, so you're done. So they don't no longer disturb you. You can focus on another event. You can focus on another task. So just try to complete that when you will be given a given task and shift to another task. That's the best way to do. So starting, it's fine. Just go ahead and it takes time. It takes time. Definitely takes time. But once you understand the beauty of that, so that's see, all spiritual practice all about bringing you in now state, bringing you in present moment. That's all state. Because in present moment you find the God. God is all about being, not about intellectual understanding. It's the whole present moment to be knowingness, right? That is a beauty of it.
Thank you. I think that needs like a little more channeling of your energies and breaking that
Right.
cycle.
Perfect, perfect, man, perfect. Just prioritize and just wake up one day. Just that's it. One day before, sorry, 1 hour before. That changes a lot. Just we tend to have wake up lately because we don't have energy. If you don't have energy, you sleep for more time. If you just do meditation before the sleep, just 1 hour do the meditation, you wake up early. That changes your pattern a lot.
Got it. Yeah. Thank
You
you.
can sleep, yeah, you can sleep for 6 hours instead of 8 hours. You can save 2 hours. In 2 hours, you can do single task. So many
Sure.
things single task. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Thank you so
Any other questions? Again, I tell everyone that without practicing, we can't imbibe this knowledge into our lives. Just
So-
listening doesn't help. Every day we are meditating. We are spending half an hour on meditating, and we are spending almost 1 hour in gaining this knowledge through whatever whoever it is. Like today is Ajay, but we are spending time, right? Good amount of time we are spending. If we don't experiment what we are learning here, it doesn't help us much. So please experiment. Try
Yeah,
to.
I would like to just close your eyes after this meeting. Just thinking, sorry, just focus or visualize that you are already eating that particular food, maybe sweet, maybe whatever you want. Just do that experiment for 1 day, 3 days, at least 3 days. Maybe you're starting right now, right? So just experiment 3 days, see what will happen, whether you're getting that particular thing or not. See, yeah, we'll see. We experiment. Focus
Okay.
on it.
So I have a question, Vijay, Ajay.
Yeah.
When you meditate, when I meditate, I just meditate. And then when
Hmm.
I want to visualize, after the meditation, I just visualize.
Right.
So what is the sequence? You should visualize first and meditate, or meditate first and visualize. My
I,
under
I yeah, I give preference to meditation, and after meditation you should do that because when meditation you'll go to the higher level of consciousness. You should just meditation purpose to go inwards. To see meditation different and focus is different. What is called Telugulo we call ధ్యానము ఒకటి తపస్సు. Tapassu nothing but focus. తప్పించడం, right? So tapas focus. So when you do focus, you are creating that. When you do meditation, you're withdrawing and you're going to inwards and going to source void. One is going inward, one is going, but both are complement each other. When you do focus, when you are in that now state, you are close to God, right?
Yes.
So after meditation, just open your eyes, just see the just give the 1 minute gap, then close your eyes and do that, because some people see in different level of consciousness because they are in what you call some hypnosis state, something like that, even though after the meditation 2-3 minutes. So avoid that and just bring the conscious awareness to here. In meditation reality, you'll go to shift to here. In that's a sequence. Meditation, you'll go to from here to here. After meditation, you come to here, right? Again, you focus on that. Focus also, see, when focusing, after you focus for 10 to 15 minutes, when you are in that moment, your midbrain will take. That's the beauty of that.
Yeah.
You pick that, it will send.
Yes. Have you tried focusing on Bindu?
What is
You
it?
know Bindu, right? The Bindu is
Oh, yeah, correct.
it's
Yeah,
from
Trataka
your
Vidya.
Rajna Chakra. You have to
Correct.
go in, and from your Sahasrara, you have to come down. So there is a
Mm-hmm.
meeting point that is called Bindu. That
Mm-hmm.
Bindu is about peanut size, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean pea size, And when you focus there, the manifestation is even faster. That is what.
So yeah, actually, they don't know much about that. But when you focus over here, when you are right now that moment, that means when you're not analyzing, when you're not judging, when you are pure with that moment, automatically midbrain will pick that. You don't do anything. Just it will pick. That's the beauty of Father. See, when you are judging, you are in yellow brain. When you are not judging, when you are with that moment, when you are watching the movie, not judging, just when one moment, you are getting that emotion. That's a manifestation, right? When you're judging, simply see, is not good, not fair, his fight is not good. When you say is not good, it was done 6 months back. You're not connecting, you're judging, you're analyzing, right? So when you are in focus such a way that you are in one that moment, you automatically tend to get tears, tend to get that emotion. That is a manifestation. Simple, right? So yeah, just focus. It will maybe will pick that release the adrenal gland, that release the what are the emotion you feel. Immediately it will. That's a sense of knowingness through chemicals, right? You will know whether I'm feeling in that moment or not.
Yes. Thank you. Masters, any questions? Or else we will conclude the session tonight.
Okay, Mother. Yeah, you can conclude. So
Thank
yeah,
you so
thank you
much,
all.
Ajay, for today's amazing session. And tomorrow we will meet again.
So actually, maybe tomorrow I'll be in travel. I'll do one thing. I'll forward one video. Just play that. Maybe Ramtha explains one video, 42 minutes something video. That will help you a lot because you can see the power of Ramtha. How much confidence he speaks that. So maybe some people might know who is Ramtha. Maybe you can see that even though you see the face of Judge Knight, you can feel the Ramtha presence over there. He explains such a way. Why should you create every day? Why should you create every day? He will explain that. I'll share that 42 minutes video to ma'am. You just play that. And if you have any questions, we can have in next classes.
Definitely. Definitely.
Thank you so much. Just practice that. That's it. Only I request you to practice. Once you practice, you have beauty. Even though I tell 10 hours of what exactly taste of ice cream unless until you doesn't taste, you don't know taste of ice cream. So just practice, you'll know the taste of that creation. Conscious creation. Sorry, conscious creation.
Thank you for your time and trying to give all that knowledge that you are aware of and contributing your time and energy. That's so much appreciated for your everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ajay.
Grateful to you.
Thank you. It was very beautifully explained. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for all your participation.
Thank you, Ajay garu.
Thank you, Ajay garu. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.